Something big is about to happen with Avalanche. Today, we're going to be breaking down a full run of what could be brewing with this blockchain and how things are moving. You guys don't want to miss it. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back into TechPath. All right, before we begin, I want to thank our sponsor, and that is Coinledger. If you guys are looking at of course you are looking at getting your taxes done. Crypto taxes are done in minutes. The cool thing here is it goes into exchanges, into DeFi, your wallets. All of that can be centralized into one app to be able to combine all your tax reporting. So it makes it easy. All you have to do is go over to coinledger.io to sign up. Make sure and use our link down below. All right, let's get into a few points here on Avalanche. One thing I think if you're following Avalanche, then you probably saw this headline right here. Legendary MapleStory comes to Avalanche. One of the things that was kind of interesting within this article was something I highlighted right here. Partnership with Avalanche will allow us to build stable and complete blockchain ecosystem, enabling us to securely service various dApps along with MapleStory. So there's a lot more here that seems to be coming. And when you think about where MapleStory was and what they were starting to do on Polygon and what they're now doing on Avalanche, it's a pretty big deal. So this is, of course, Nexon, the company that produces MapleStory, selects Polygon SuperNets for their global hit MapleStory. This was back in March of 2023, just so everybody's aware. So that's a year later. They were on, and we've had Polygon on the show talking about these subnets of sort. And these SuperNets, I'm just kind of curious if this is the reason they moved. What was the issue? Why were they moving? So, well, we're going to find out. A couple of things that is happening. If you look at just where the growth of Nexon is coming from, you can kind of see right here, Korea is pretty much one of the bigger market, well, the biggest market for them. China, 24%. And you see the growth right here. Asia continues to be the market leader when it comes to gaming NFT adoption. And really, when you look at Avalanche, this could be one of the centers for where their growth is going to come from. I want to also go over to a clip real quick around what Nexon is. Listen in.
We're listed in Japan, and within the Japan game industry, Nexon ranked the second in terms of market cap, placing it as the next biggest game company following Nintendo. We've been servicing over 50 games all over the world for past 20 years. And we continue to scale as we speak right now. MapleStory has approximately 180 million cumulative global players, among which roughly 50 million accounts have been active for over 10 years. And from a revenue perspective, we continue to demonstrate a rising curve as we grow in size yearly. MapleStory is now expanding beyond the game space to a whole culture of its own. Every game wants to achieve such a decade-long sustainable live service, but not every game can.
All right, so that was the GDC event last year, March of last year, 2023. You saw that 180 million players, second only to Nintendo, and now this company moves into blockchain. Here's a clip on MapleStory making the move. Listen in.
MapleStory World, and the other is MapleStory SDK. And these two will help in building up a new relationship with community with the help of blockchain technology. You can see the massive amount of item bases which have been created along with the 20 years of service. Millions of trillions of game players have experienced the gameplay, and as a result of that, they obtained many of these items as a reward. These items will also be major goals for community creator as well. We're going to do two things for this. First, we're going to open up the IP assets to community creators. And secondly, we're going to distributing item creating power to the contributors.
All right, so this could be the largest event that has happened in blockchain gaming to date. Even greater than some of the mergers and programs that we've seen, even going in from Web 2 to Web 3. And I don't know if you guys caught that, but the number they were talking about in terms of in-game assets in the decillions, we were trying to calculate that into billions. I mean, the calculation alone is insane. Undecillion to billion conversion. The point being is that when you look at the size of the ecosystem with MapleStory, this is by far the biggest yet. Now, I want to get into another clip real quick that goes into a little bit more around minting examples. And this is also talking a little bit more about Asian gamers, their affinity toward NFTs. Listen in.
So the rest of it, the customization are all still there, right? Still have the original MapleStory customization. And this is a different one, okay? As you can see, this is the one over here. That's a mint down here. That's a link character. They use this cryptocurrency over here, which is called Nexon. So basically at level 30, you will be able to mint a character to create it as an NFT. Yes, then you can sell that character itself. After minting, you can participate in various on-chain activities such as assigning a unique nickname, activate character trait functions. So after character minting, item can be minted and enhanced. Wow. Hey, imagine you get an arcane shade in like what, 5 years time, right? You can sell that arcane shade itself and then you can mint it. Oh my God.
All right, that's the thing. I think, you know, when you look at Asian gamers, they're starting to get it, you know, and I think the rest of the gaming community is now starting to get an understanding, especially when you see a project like MapleStory making this leap. The opportunity here is pretty significant. When you look at their Twitter account, this shows just how quickly that they've got the marketplace already in place. That alone, I think, is going to continue to be a pretty interesting advantage, especially going into Avalanche. And that's where it's going to get interesting, I think. Let me go to a clip real quick. This shows in-game minting speed. Listen in. All right, so you can kind of, so the only way that that speed is going to be obtained, you think about this not only in the gaming ecosystem, let's just talk about all things tokenized in essence. Speed is going to be very critical. One of the ones that we know that is one of the fastest ones out there for this is, of course, Avalanche. Further into this, if you want to compare and you look at transactions, Pulsar is a good example. Remember, we've had Pulsar talking about the total number of transactions, now almost 250 million right now. This is still a test net. This will become, and when you look at some of just the charts here, this is the growth right now. It's continuing to climb. This will be, if not the largest, one of the largest transaction pools within the Avalanche ecosystem. Now with MapleStory coming to this could get a little bit interesting. They themselves have a ridiculous amount of IP already within this game. Remember, this is a legendary game coming over from Web 2 into this phase, and I think this is going to be a definite boost in terms of total transactions, which is going to equate to a lot of revenue for Avalanche. Hence, you're going to see Avalanche move pretty aggressively. Let's talk a little bit further around why these companies are choosing AVAX. Now, here's a good example. Pulsar talks about this. Listen in.
If you want to play like Sandbox, Sandbox has a huge headache with the time that takes the transactions. And then when you want to transact something that you bought in Sandbox, you need to pay maybe, I don't know, back in the days when the gas fee was super high, it was like $100 or more to send to him. For instance, my NFT was like, what the heck, man? This is unusable and slow, right? And for us, that was not an option, because if we need to tell our users, go and buy to an exchange, register, KYC, all that mess. Man, no, in our subnet is, if you have whatever EVM compatible token and even stable coins, you can mint our NFTs.
And also having everyone in the game working with one token, that was important.
So there was no other choice, right?
Yeah, not for us. It was probably
it was just the best one.
Yeah, I tried. Cardano, Solana, Harmony, the guys of Phantom. I mean, it was really hard to get answers.
All right, so let's just kind of run through the shopping experience. If you look at this, let's go in and we'll just add one of these cats right here, a starter pack. If you go into the shopping cart, you can kind of start to see the pull down opportunity. So there they are. All of that available of being able to go in. And again, this is within Avalanche. This is, again, one of the big advantages that AVAX and the subnets represent, especially in the gaming community, which is why you're seeing so many gaming companies start to move in this, including the MapleStory situation. Now, one thing we are going to be doing here on the channel is we've got a huge giveaway going on within the Pulsar community. We'll be announcing that very soon. Well, you guys, of course, make sure and stay tuned right here. Make sure and subscribe to the channel. Watch out for those. It is a really serious giveaway. You guys do not want to miss it, so make sure and just subscribe now. When we get the Pulsar interview going, we'll drop that giveaway for you. Further into this, just to give you a framework of where Avalanche is right now in comparison to some other ecosystems out there, you can kind of see Avalanche setting at number 8 right now. This is in reference to NFT sales volume by the 24. If you go in and we'll take a look at let's go to the 7-day. Moving up, still holding number 8. The point being is that when all of this comes on board, this is going to completely explode Avalanche. In terms of NFT sales volume, numbers are going to absolutely explode. This is going to be big. Now, there are some other things happening this week that I think a lot of people are prepping for from Avalanche. Remember, GDC, the big game developers conference, happening this next week in San Francisco. This is where all the developers come together. It's also where a lot of companies who are looking at maybe going into Web3 start to really take consideration into this. Further into this, right here, was an announcement by MapleStory. Only 2 weeks left, official GDC. If anyone's been keeping track, you know that we talked about it. Next Gen reward experience last year's. Probably going to be some pretty big opportunities here. The real deal is bringing the real world economy to the game. That's, again, more creative ways. You saw that with the video that we showed earlier of the Asian gamer that were kind of showing really the surprise and awe of how this could work within a game. So it's pretty cool. And of course, if you're looking at what's happening with GDC, this is happening March 18th, next week, San Francisco. I want to scan down here to the sponsors. This is kind of cool. So Diamond Partners, I mean, there's Epic, Google, Meta, Microsoft, and then you've got Sala, and then also WeMade. These are Web3 companies right here. Tencent maybe could be considered that. Point being is Diamond Partners now on the homepage of GDC, and you've got all this happening the week before within the Avalanche ecosystem. Get ready, something's big is going to explode. Other things that are happening on the same period of time is, of course, GTC, which is NVIDIA's event. Guess who is at GTC? That's Jules Urbach. That's the CEO of Otoy, otherwise known as Render. Now, future of rendering, real-time ray tracing, holographic displays, and the blockchain. That's going to be interesting. Then he talks about he's going to present his vision for the future of GPU and AI-driven rendering and how it will impact gaming. Big deal here. So I think this is another reason we continue to see Render, I still believe, is the AI token to watch. Now, there'll be a lot of others that do well, that may get, 10, 20, 30, 50x. Who knows what we see? The question is this could be the long-term play in partnership with where NVIDIA could be going in the gaming space. So a lot happening right now in this space. This was GDC last year for Avalanche. And word is that they will have the largest Web3 facility at GDC this year. And if that is the case, you can imagine the number of game devs that are going to be there and paying attention to all these very interesting moves that are happening, and Avalanche is sitting right there at the beginning. It's what we've said often, is that Avalanche is the gaming chain, and it definitely appears to be that way. Here was another one, of course. Guns did their official launch integration after they did their Layer Zero Labs launch. And of course, the cool thing here, and one thing I want you guys to do, if you haven't downloaded the Guns app, go do that now. I mean, you can get it on iOS, Android. But the cool thing is there's a lot of feature sets within those NFTs. Again, all of this on Avalanche that's going to build into a future, I think, of where NFTs are going within all of this. And of course, here's Trader Joe, another Avalanche ecosystem, talking about hearing big rumors of a big week for Avalanche. Would agree with that. I think this is definitely coming down the pipe. You look at Avalanche going in right now, we'll take a look. So, of course, Bitcoin coming in at 72 as we're recording this right now. And if you take a look at Avalanche hitting 47 after this huge jump right here. Some of this on this news, but I think it's a little bit more of the GDC narrative of where this is going to be taken. There's a lot of things that are going to be revealed this week, so get ready for a big ride. I think we haven't quite hit that local high of about $48, but it's coming quickly. So if you guys want to continue to catch all of that and more, make sure and subscribe to the channel right now. And if you're not in our Diamond Circle, get in. It's one of the great places to get additional content. And catch me out there on X, @PaulBaron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.